So, continuing the appreciative inquiry for a little bit more, since I found this fine place where there's still a little bit of sunlight. The search for something of real or potential value is pretty easy under such conditions. The approach that I've been exploring here is the approach of appreciation, of an attitude that looks towards something valuable and tries to find something that's beneficial, that's useful, that has potential, that has promise, that can in one way or another be received as a gift. So one way of saying this could be the gift of reality. You're seeing reality as a gift. You receive the gift of the moment, the gift of the experience, the gift of the impression, whatever the impression may be and whatever the experience may be. The kind of appreciative approach which I'm exploring here is very much in line with what you may call pragmatism. It's seeking to be a practical and pragmatic approach which can be applicable in as many situations as possible, including situations where I have limited information and limited understanding of what's going on. So in this sense, the appreciative approach is also a creative approach, because it's an approach which doesn't demand that I have a knowledge of what this really is or what this really means. Since my default position is I don't know this, I am rather searching in the field of what this could mean, and also what this could potentially be or become at some stage into the future. So this means that when, let's say, reading an essay which is written by someone about a very interesting, complex, important subject, with this kind of an approach, I will look also for what the possible improvements might be. So this is a very interesting point of view here, because when I'm mentioning appreciation, many would consider this to be a contrast to, let's say, the critical or the skeptical approach. You need to be skeptical, you need to be critically minded. Well, I'm gonna make a bold claim here, and that is that the kind of appreciative inquiry which I'm here exploring seems to have built within it a mechanism for doing the entire job of skepticism, first of all by not assuming to know anything, and the job of criticism by looking for potential, which includes the field of possible improvements. And the field of possible improvements doesn't even have to be all that concerned about whether it's an improvement concern compared to the original article. It's rather that the original article inspired some kind of an investigation or brainstorming process of kinds. And then it gave rise to another essay, which was, let's say, inspired by the first one. Yet it made certain changes. And maybe that again gave rise to a third essay, which might give rise to a fourth, to a fifth, to a sixth, to a seventh, to a 10th. And who knows how many. And maybe then that the original essay, through the approach of looking at it through the field not only of what it is, but also of what it could become, can give rise then to more or less an entire literature of different variations on a theme. And maybe when you have 10 different essays, all of which have been worked at quite thoroughly, all of which you may say are well written, in that case, you might be in a good position to pick your favorites. And even if you don't want to pick your favorites, and you don't need to, you can then pick several favorites, and you can even then have several favorites for several kinds of situations. So in other words, you can have a short essay, and you can have a medium essay, and you can have a long essay, and you can have a video. And each of these may be appropriate to share at different circumstances. So all of a sudden we see that through the appreciative inquiry approach and through following it up over some time, by then exploring the field of possibility and promise and potential, there then is created something new. Something which is relatively new and at the same time is inspired by the original impulse. And this seems to be the mechanism through which natural evolution works as well. And it seems to be the mechanism through which science works. And it seems to be the mechanism through which any kind of intelligent democracy works. Even if you can always argue that you never have a perfect democracy. In almost all models of democracy, there is this idea of the ongoing exploration among the citizens and the incremental changes in laws and procedures and rules of play. So here, it seems that the appreciative inquiry actually seems to achieve the goal of the critic much faster than the critic himself. And that's quite an irony. But that seems to be the case. If the purpose of criticism is to find an improvement, then appreciative inquiry does that job directly because it uses potential as a means of appreciation. So you're looking not only for what it is, but also what it could be, and then you're looking for what could be out of that again. And in that way you can continue by just building on the previous best iteration. Whatever you might consider to be best. And that's going to be a human judgment call one way or another anyway. So, it seems to be then that the attitude of appreciation which is based on what is real and then what could become out of what is real, without making any unnecessary assumptions about anything. This leads directly into an inquiry into how this could be improved. And this is a way of thinking which is a little bit almost upside down compared to, let's say, some of the cultural habits of our time. But this is also why I think that the appreciative inquiry is such a revolutionary idea. Because it just seems to be a major upgrade. If we have a kind of appreciative inquiry which is completely reality-based and does not make any assumptions about knowing anything about what reality is beyond the subjective reality, and then looking into the field of potential to justify the appreciation with a pragmatic and practical and creative approach to the material, this then seems to directly achieve everything which is intended to be achieved by criticism, but which experience has shown that very seldom is achieved through criticism. So you might here say that I'm allowing myself to be somewhat critical of criticism itself. But if we're gonna approach it through the appreciative lens, when I look at criticism, I see what criticism could become. I see criticism as something that seems to seek an improvement, and I see that this kind of appreciative inquiry directly seeks this improvement with an appreciative approach without even needing to go to criticism. So appreciative inquiry seems to be a shortcut into improvement.